Given how much resistance we had faced when we had infiltrated Mordena's lair, I wanted to make sure that we had taken every precaution possible before risking a similar assault on the Dawnslayer. We were going to need more experienced operatives, better equipment, and possibly even plasma-based weaponry, so we still had a long way to go. The week started off on a high note as the Gray Shirts caught wind of an old radio signal. Investigating, they made contact with a grizzled soldier who had been fighting a non-stop guerrilla war against Advent over the past 20 years. His name was Major Joshua Williams, formerly of the U.S. military, and while his prolonged isolation meant he didn't have the best social skills, he had the makings of a very effective field operative. We quickly welcomed him aboard. Afterwards, I headed down to the Sci Lab to see how our new recruits were doing. As the lab rats had predicted, Recruit Thompson had indeed begun developing psionic powers after just a few days in the Psi Chamber. He still had a long way to go before he would ever catch up with Naz, but it was certainly a good start. Next, I stopped by the engineering department to check on the status of our latest projects. I was in luck because they had just finalized the designs for portable EMP grenades, as well as what they were smugly calling blue screen rounds. These specialized munitions would make it much easier to deal with Advent's mechanized units in the future. They were also making good progress on the development of the new Nano Med Kit, but they were more eager to show me around the brand new Shadow Chamber, the specialized research facility that Tygan had requested. It was pretty impressive, though I'd be lying if I said I understood how any of that equipment actually worked. Tygan was eager to put the new Shadow Chamber to use, and put in a special request for the remains of one of those alien codices that we had down in cold storage, but I ordered him to remain focused on upgrading our arsenal for now. Then it was off to the Resistance Ring to check on the status of our latest covert operation. Our new propaganda campaign had gotten some quick results, giving us a new prospective contact we could exploit in Asia, but Advent hadn't taken kindly to our efforts, and a confrontation with Advent peacekeepers had led to Michaelum getting shot. Fortunately, Badger had managed to quickly evacuate Michaelum to a safer location until we could pick them up. Bradford and I both agreed that Badger's quick thinking had earned him a promotion. Still, this was just more proof that Advent was getting more dangerous by the day. We would have a lot more room to operate if we could just get rid of Dawnslayer, so I decided it was time to go ahead and finally take our first big step towards removing him from the playing field. We already had a general idea of where Dawnslayer's hideout was, we just didn't know how to get inside. Mox claimed to have some ideas about that, so I quickly ordered Phoenix and Shotgun to accompany the skirmisher out to South America to see what they could figure out. Afterwards, I was called down to Tygan's lab. He had finished researching Mordena's weaponry, and his report had both good news and bad news. The good news was that the weapons were of unparalleled quality, easily the pinnacle of weapons technology, and they were entirely safe for us to use. The bad news was that he had no idea how to replicate them, so we only had the one set to work with. Fortunately, his work with the strange alien weaponry had at least inspired Tygan and his team to develop a new approach with our more conventional modular weapon designs. He pitched a new project that would allow us to more easily reuse old weapon mods, and I quickly gave him my approval. I returned to my personal quarters to get some rest, but there were a few more reports waiting for me. The first was a notification that the engineering team had just finished working on the new and improved medical kits. And the second was an update on the latest terrifying new mind powers that Naz had apparently developed when no one was looking. But the third notice was about a new potential target of opportunity. Apparently, Advent had managed to recover a data storage device from one of the Avatar facilities we had destroyed, and we had one chance to intercept it. Well, sleep was overrated anyway. I headed up to the bridge and started assembling a team. An unexpected benefit of our new Shadow Chamber was that it allowed us to tap into some of Advent's communications, and it looked like Advent was taking security pretty seriously. Their caravan was headed right through Lost territory, and they had even sent along some sort of new weapon to help safeguard the shipment. Unfortunately, most of our elite operatives were otherwise occupied. Mox, Phoenix, and Shotgun were off investigating Dawnslayer's hideout, and Karn was, he was busy. Instead, I decided to have Dragonova lead the team, and as always, Altex came along to act as her personal decoy. A bodyguard, her personal bodyguard. Although I did have some reservations about it, I decided this was also a good opportunity to let Altex field test Mordena's old equipment. I filled out the rest of the team with some of our other more experienced operatives, including Lieutenant Richards as the squad's medic, Captain Salviti as the squad's heavy support, and Captain 246 as the squad's long-range support. Then, just to hedge our bets, I ordered Naz to tag along as well. The Grey Shirts were telling me that there were at least 23 hostiles in the area of operation, and we were going in with just 6 men. Still, I was confident that no matter what Advent threw at us, our men would always find some way to come out on top.
Remote reconnaissance has picked up a weak Advent signal, slowly moving through this area. We think it's one of their data vaults being transported by a truck. The target is vulnerable, and as far as we can tell, the data may be tied to the alien operation we recently detected. Take out any hostile forces protecting the vehicle, secure the AO, and recover the assets. Menace 1-5, we've got a bead on the Advent data vault near your position. Be advised, self-detonating charges are in place at the target. Move to disarm and extract the package before its contents are destroyed.
As I expected, Commander, there are significant readings indicative of the Lost moving throughout the combat zone. Be careful out there.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 19. We've got a pretty straightforward recovery mission today, and we're actually not all that far from our target. So we're just going to start pushing forward here. My goal is to get our squad up onto that overpass over there. That should give them a pretty good view of the Advent van carrying our objective.
Understood. Moving out.
But of course, we are going to have to stay on our guard here. This was listed as a very difficult mission, with 23 enemies on the field. Though to be fair, that enemy count did seem to include the Lost.
Moving.
But it's also worth noting that the Shadow Chamber reported there's an unknown enemy on this mission as well. At this point, we've encountered just about everything that Advent can throw at us, except for the Gatekeeper. Those things are even tougher than sectopods. That's why I decided to fill out the squad with A-listers this time around. Okay, let's get Dragonova up onto that overpass and see if there are any enemy pods waiting for us up there.
Moving out. You can never
A Spectre
escape
and 2
my sight.
Archons. Not the worst possible pod, but definitely an annoyance. We definitely need to wipe those guys out before we head for the van, but I'm definitely going to need the whole squad up there before we pick a fight with these guys. Unfortunately, that car next to Dragonova seems to be blocking access to the overpass, so that means everyone's going to have to funnel through the other access point instead.
Moving out.
This is going to take a few turns, so let's fast forward real quick. Okay, it took a couple of minutes, but we've got everyone in position. Even better, the alien pod has moved right on top of that truck over there, so that'll make it even easier to take them out. Let's hedge our bets by tossing in a claymore, and then setting it off with one of Salviti's grenades.
Here, catch!
Well, that definitely did the trick. Looks like only one Archon survived. Though that, might have gotten the attention of the Lost. Let's go ahead and start moving the rest of the squad up onto the overpass, and then we'll need to choose who's going to finish off that Archon.
Finally!
Actually, that thing is so badly injured that Denal might be able to finish it off with his pistol, so let's check that out real quick. Yeah, that should do it. Nice.
What did you expect?
There are no other enemies in sight, so we'll just get the rest of our squad up next to this car. And then next turn, we'll move over to the other side of the overpass to get a better look at our objective.
Come on over, Overwatch.
Oh, hi there.
That's right.
Well, we know that there's a whole bunch of lost down there, but let's go ahead and start moving up so we can see if there's anything else to deal with. Actually, wait, we can already see an enemy pod down there. Looks like a stun lancer, a purifier, and an advent priest. They haven't scrambled yet, but that's going to change as soon as we get into their line of sight. Oh, and there's another pod down there too. A specter and an archon. And those lost are heading right for us too. Hopefully at least a few of them will turn around and harass whatever advent units we can't kill before the end of the turn. Now I really shouldn't use more explosives, but we do have some high priority targets on the field. I'd really like to soften up that priest before he can do anything weird. But I guess we should really focus on the Spectre and the Stun Lancer, since those are both units that can take out one of our soldiers in a single hit. Hopefully this won't attract too many more zombies. Okay, let's go ahead and start moving the rest of the squad up. See if we can actually take some of these guys out.
Let's do this.
Looks like Denal can't quite reach the other side of the overpass. Maybe if we move some of the other guys out of his way. Let's see if Naz can get line of sight. The preview says he's got a flanking shot on someone, so let's go take a peek. Oh, okay. Well, he can finish off that Stun Lancer, so let's go ahead and do that. No fancy psychic powers necessary. One down, about 15 more to go. Let's go ahead and have Mark start thinning out some of those lost. Oh, well, that is unfortunate. Just as a heads up, I will be taking the Between the Eyes ability as soon as I can. I just need to free up another resistance order slot first.
Sight beyond vision.
Dragonova's definitely got a lot of options here, but we've still got that mystery enemy on the field somewhere, so I don't necessarily want to squander her shadow status if I can help it. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring up Altex instead. I'm sure he'll enjoy getting to break in that ridiculously overpowered alien shotgun. Wow, 10 damage on a medium-range shotgun blast.
What did you expect?
With that kind of damage output, Altex definitely shouldn't have any trouble clearing out a lot of these lost. For those who are curious, Mordena's shotgun is basically just a normal plasma tier shotgun, except it has like 5 top tier mods attached to it. It's definitely kind of overpowered, and unless you're planning on fielding more than one ranger at a time, it pretty much invalidates every other ranger weapon. The same goes for Mordena's sword. It's basically a top tier melee weapon, though it can't stun targets like the arc blade does, or light targets on fire like the fusion blade does. But it more than makes up for that by having a 100% chance to hit with every attack, so you can't get XCOM'd when you're using that weapon. Again, pretty much invalidates every other ranger weapon.
Need a resupply. Ready to rock.
Let's go ahead and get Denal in on the action.
Absolutely.
He's our first sniper with face-off, so he could shoot all of these guys with a single action, but he wouldn't necessarily be doing a whole lot of damage. His guns are equipped with venom rounds, though, so he could theoretically poison all of these guys, which would limit what they can do. He also has lightning hand, so he can double up attacks on one enemy. Now, Dragonova could take a shot here, but I don't think she can actually finish anyone off with one attack. So instead, let's go ahead and use her teamwork ability, and have Altex clear a few more pieces off the field. Even with that alien shotgun, it looks like most of these guys have too many hit points for him to reliably finish off with one shot. But he's got armor-piercing rounds equipped, so I guess we might as well go for the Purifier. Well, that didn't work. I guess we'll just have to sit back and wait to see what these guys do. Okay, looks like the priest is going for a mind control, but he's in for a nasty surprise. And that is why my primary damage dealers get mind shields. And of course the Purifier missed. Honestly, there was no chance that he was going to be able to hit us with a flamethrower from that angle anyway. And it looks like the Archon moved in for a melee attack, but he didn't have enough action points to actually attack, so we shouldn't have any trouble finishing him off.
The target is marked.
Okay, looks like we've got yet another swarm incoming. And another one.
I know where you are.
And that swarm seems intent on ignoring Advent and coming right after our squad. But since they have to take the long way around, I don't think we're going to have any trouble with them either, especially if they keep lighting themselves on fire like that. Alright, let's start off by clearing out some of the weaker targets. And of course he exploded, so that's another swarm we're going to have to deal with. Alright, let's get someone who can clear these things out a little more reliably. Altex, that's your cue.
By the numbers. That's right. That's how it's done. By the numbers. I'm running low on ammo.
Looks like he can't quite do enough damage to finish off the Archon with his shotgun, so let's try out this new sword. Well, it managed to survive with 1 hit point, but since we've only got a couple of enemies left on the field, that shouldn't be a problem. I guess I should also do something about that other group of Lost. But I'm not sure if there's anywhere that Naz can move to use any of his fancier powers. Unfortunately, when this truck blew up, it took most of the cover with it. Well, let's switch off to someone else instead. Salviti here should be able to pick off a few zombies.
Not too shabby. Well, how about that? Impressed yet?
Let's go ahead and have him take a shot at that priest, too. Oh, wait, that actually just set the objective truck on fire. That could be bad. Okay, we don't know how long we have before that truck explodes, so let's get Mark down there immediately. Fortunately, this is why I keep bringing along Skulljacks. It's basically a guaranteed one-hit kill against certain Advent opponents. And hey, we finally managed to get some intel out of one of these guys, too.
Good to go.
Okay, let's go ahead and clear this Archon off the board.
Volk says hello.
Now we'll just bring Naz up and he'll soften up one of those lost brutes. And here comes another lost swarm. Oh, and there's the gatekeeper behind them.
I will always find you.
There's another brute incoming.
There is nowhere to hide.
And another swarm coming from under the overpass. I wonder if the 100% accuracy on that chosen sword actually extends to Bladestorm attacks. That could get pretty ridiculous in a scenario like this one. Ah, well, that's...
It's been destroyed. We're not going to recover anything from this site. Lock down the AO and eliminate all remaining hostiles.
That's definitely unfortunate. I was really hoping the truck would last another turn or two before it blew up. Or that when it did blow up, the objective would survive. Well, I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. It's not a total loss, though. Let's go ahead and secure the area, and we can still net a bunch of alien corpses for Taigen or for resale on the black market. Oh, plus we'll get our first Gatekeeper corpse. I think that unlocks the top-tier equipment for our psychic operatives. Mark is in a bit of a bad spot there, but fortunately he's got a whole squad of badasses watching his back. Let's start thinning these guys out.
Only the best. That's right. What did you expect?
There we go. Mark probably feels safer already.
It's killing time. That's how it's done. Only the best.
Let's go ahead and start moving Dragonova up. We need a better idea of exactly where that gatekeeper is.
I have sight beyond vision.
Oh, right, and we still have a couple of Lost hiding under the overpass here. I guess I should bring someone down and take them out. Let's see here. Altex can probably take care of that.
Absolutely. What did you expect? Guns dry.
Whoops, and he had to reload. I guess we'll have to bring someone else down to finish the job.
Finally. It's killing time.
Not quite enough, and Mark is too far away, so let's risk taking a shot with Dragonova. That got it done.
One of many. I have almost no ammo. I'll watch closely.
Now I could pull Mark back to where it's safer, but he's actually got line of sight on this scanning tower over here, so let's take a quick peek at that. If we're lucky, it'll be more loot, something to make up for our missed objective. 100% chance to put him back in stealth. I guess that's not terrible. Then he can help Dragonova scout for that gatekeeper. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
I'm in the shadows.
Alright, let's push him up a little.
On the move.
And there it
This
is.
one is uniquely graceful compared to some of the other species we've seen. It also gives off very strong psionic readings.
Okay, we've got line of sight on the gatekeeper as well as its
The target is
escort.
marked.
Looks like a stun lancer and a purifier. And now we've got another swarm of zombies on the field as well.
You will never hide from me.
You know that was good.
That gatekeeper parked itself right next to that truck, so let's go ahead and use Salvidi's rocket to take off a chunk of its health and armor.
Bring in the pain.
Well, the truck didn't blow up, but I guess that's fine. It actually looks like the only people who can see the gatekeeper are both under stealth, so I'm tempted to just have everyone hold position and wait to see if this zombie swarm will duke it out with the gatekeeper and his escorts. Mark's in the riskiest position here because it can't see him, but if he moves, he'll automatically be detected. But Denal can take some shots with Mark acting as his spotter, so let's at least thin out that swarm a little bit.
That's right.
I guess we should take out that Dasher too, since it's the only one that could actually reach our guys. Or not. Well, that's fine. Hopefully it'll be Advent's problem and not ours.
Sure thing.
I guess everyone else will just hold their position and go into Overwatch in case anything comes in our direction.
Locked and loaded.
Give me time to reload.
Roger, got my eyes on.
Watching comes naturally.
Ah, the gatekeeper's coming right at us.
Deflection. That is not good.
And now it's doing a thing. Gateway. Which ability is Gateway? Ah, right. That's the one that raises a bunch of zombies. Apparently, the Gatekeeper can reanimate lost corpses. Good to know for the future. Also, everyone just got hurt. And what is... Is it taking feedback damage for every one of my guys it just hit? Well, I guess that takes care of that. Oh shoot, but I think Mark just got blown up. Nope, false alarm. Mark's still there. He's just completely engulfed in flames is all.
I know where you are.
I should really just move Altex out in front and bait all these zombies right into him.
That's right.
Oh, and hey, the Lost are finally attacking some Advent units.
About to get burnt to a crisp. Burned. Go spot it.
It burns! Also, I've been spotted. Way to keep things in perspective, Mark. And yet another Lost Swarm has literally teleported right into the middle of the battlefield. They're definitely playing it pretty fast and loose with the spawning system there. Alright, normally if someone were on fire, I'd just have Mark extinguish them. But he can't extinguish himself, so we're just going to need to pull him back and hope he doesn't burn to death. I'm pretty sure that's the last Advent pod on the board, so we also need to clear those guys out. I'm guessing the scenario won't end until we take out all these Lost too, so let's get to it.
Good to go.
I'd love to get Denal over there to use face-off again, but unfortunately I don't think I can get him close enough. Not if I want to keep him in cover anyway. So let's just use his auto-loader instead, and he can give Mark some cover fire. I need to make sure that I take out the Lost in order from weakest to strongest. That way I minimize the chance of ending his turn early.
By the numbers. Only the best. What did you expect?
This is the last shot in his clip, so I might as well hit one of the Advent units. Now let's go ahead and pull Mark back. Actually, hold on a second. He can still use healing actions when he's on fire. In that case, let's go ahead and extinguish that fire. And if we've got him holding position, we're going to need to clear out more of those lost. So, let's go ahead and have Salviti empty his gun into them. Unfortunate. Well, let's bring someone else up instead. Dragonova can't do enough damage. Oh, right, let's bring Altex into the fray. Looks like he won't have line of sight to most of them, but he should at least be able to take out the lost closest to Mark.
By the numbers. That's how it's done.
I like all those lost that are frozen in cartwheel positions. Very festive. Altex managed to knock the Purifier down to 1 hit point, so let's go ahead and bring Naz up to finish him off with Soulfire.
Let's move already. Your mind is your weakness.
Now we've just got that wounded Stun Lancer and another 7 or 8 lost to take care of. Simple enough.
You want some more? How many's there now?
Ah, jeez. Mark just took out another car, so that's another swarm we're going to have to deal with. And I guess I should... I really need to do something with Dragonova. I guess we'll bring her over here, and next turn we'll start maneuvering her into position to take out that Lancer. I guess she can pick off a few of the weaker lost while she's at it. But we definitely need to upgrade her gun at some point.
Good riddance. For the Reapers, do we have ammunition available? The only safe path I cannot help without bullets. I need to reload. I take responsibility.
Whoops, and the Lancer is of course ignoring the zombies and coming right for Mark. I guess no one gets to come out of this mission uninjured. Well, at least he brought all the remaining enemies towards us. That'll make it a little easier to wrap this mission
I'll
up.
just go do that then.
Nothing fancy, let's just shoot all the bad guys.
Back online. That's right.
Denal couldn't quite finish off that Lancer, so let's go ahead and bring Dragonova into a position behind him where she can take a flanking shot.
Moving as ordered.
Hey, and we got a loot drop too.
I'll need more ammo soon.
Though it looks like Mark can't pick it up while he's disoriented. But that's fine. With just 1 or 2 lost left on the battlefield, we'll pick it up automatically once the mission is over.
That's right.
And it's over.
What did you expect? Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. The current area of operation is secure.
Well, that mission definitely could have gone better, but at least we came away with a bunch of loot as a consolation prize.
Again, our brave soldiers hold the forces of chaos at bay. We push back against the darkness with the light of the Elders. We cannot fail! As long as there's even one Reaper left standing, you can bet they're still in the fight. Finger on the trigger.
Looks like we netted 2 promotions. Mark's got a choice between covering fire and threat assessment. And between the two, I think that threat assessment is a bit more tactically viable. And Dragonova's up a level, so let's see what she's got to choose from. Highlands gives her an additional claymore, so that's a no-brainer. We'll take that one. And unfortunately, she doesn't have enough AP to unlock any other abilities. Maybe next time. Despite our best efforts, Operation Tombslayer had failed, though not for lack of trying on our part. Although the men had succeeded in destroying the shipment, it turned out that Advent had been one step ahead of us. The caravan we had attacked had been a decoy, and the data we were after had already been delivered to another Project Avatar facility. It was unfortunate, but at least everyone had come out of the operation alive. They had also managed to secure a large amount of new material for Tygan to research, including the corpse of that strange new creature that Advent had sent to wipe out the squad. While it was frustrating to see Advent once again rebuilding the project we had so thoroughly destroyed, at least it made our next move obvious. Once we had finished patching up our wounds, we were going to need to take out another Project Avatar facility.